Have you ever wondered what would happen if you turned into Jack Hanma from Baki and began taking performance-enhancing drugs several times a day in real life, making it a part of your meals on a day-by-day basis? Throughout this video, that's not what we're going to be doing, but what we're doing does involve doing some form of drugs. You see, Umamusume Pretty Derby is a roguelike doting simulator where you raise horse girls to be as strong and as fast as humanly possible. Usually, you're supposed to do this by managing their eating habits, training them to be the best possible version they can be of themselves, while also ensuring you don't overwork them so that they don't fucking die. Well, in this video, we are also not going to be doing that. You see, speed is a drug made up of amphetamines that increase the rate your neurons communicate information between your brain and your body. Speed is also a stat you can increase repeatedly in Umamusume Pretty Derby. I'm going to be using this opportunity to ensure that whatever horse it is I pick will be able to bring out the maximum potential fervor they possibly can while overdosing repeatedly on speed. First and foremost, I have to pull the Kitasan Black card. There we go. Now, you're probably thinking, but Rigashu, there are no drugs in Umamusume Pretty Derby, in which I say you're just not being imaginative enough. Umamusume Pretty Derby is a place where any trainer and horse girl can fulfill their dreams, even if that dream involves going through some form of psychosis through a generous consumption of Chinese-grade heroin. I plan on overdosing on speed being the only stat I train and seeing how far I go in career mode. Spoiler alert, it's not very far, but surprisingly farther than I ever could have imagined. Now, we go on ahead and pick our victim, horse girl. But first, we need to make sure we upgrade the potential of all our new cards from pulling for our Kitasan Black. Now that that's done, we face a bit of a dilemma, deciding which horse would be the most compatible with overdosing on drugs. Now, this decision might seem hard at first, but it's at this point we have to realize the choice was smack dab in the middle in front of us the entire time. El Condor Pasa, a Mexican through and through, is the perfect candidate for being our speed experiment. Mexicans are already used to running fast, so this makes her the perfect candidate for ingesting dangerous amounts of amphetamines and living to tell the tale about it. Once all of that was decided, it was time for me to move on with the plan, begin the career mode, and start hard maxing on what we're legally calling prescription drugs. Now then, the first few days are going to be incredibly easy. You experience the high of actually experiencing speed for the very first, second, third, and fourth time, but pretty soon things are going to go downhill from there, and unfortunately for El Condor, she's going to be suffering a lot. So, for this first entire section, I went on ahead and constantly kept clicking the trained speed button while ignoring all of the other stats, and suffice it to say, El Condor was already not liking what I was doing. However, I felt this form of power that I hadn't felt before, and it wasn't because I was controlling somebody else to do exactly what it was that I wanted. No, it was the fact that there was a part of me that thought that this was all very much possible, that somewhere down the line, someone would take this challenge of training only speed and ignoring every other stat and winning the URAs, even if that may sound statistically impossible. And I wanted that man to be me. There is, of course, the off chance that her mental psyche might end up snapping into a million fucking pieces, and as she's racing, she might snap out and start eating the other contestants. And to be quite honest, even if I do send her to the glue factory, all of those factory workers are probably going to die as well. At this moment, I am running the risk of turning her into the deceased Flash as he was running around in a matter of a picosecond, just biting people and infecting them with what I can only assume to be death in his bloodstream. Let's hope and pray El Condor doesn't end up doing that. There's only 3 days left until my first debut race, and so far we learned a grand total of 3 skills, but even then, I don't think we'll need it. See, unfortunately, El Condor's intelligence right now, due to all of this speed consumption, is the equivalent to a beaten and abused lobotomite, and if I wanted to continuously make her take more speed, I was going to have to take some risks. My intestinal lining wasn't looking too good, my muscle fibers were adapting to the speed I was taking by creating new strands of muscle based entirely on the amphetamines that I was taking, and my BPM was probably going 75,000 miles per minute. After El Pastor ended up snapping both both her legs in two, I needed to take her to the hospital and sleep in a bed. After recovering, I decided to take a walk with her and root through garbage cans for more needles, until some crack fiend who dyed her hair blue began to speak to us. I sat there a little confused on what exactly it is that she wanted, so I told her to go play in traffic. With 1 day left on my journey of training, taking only speed, it was time for my junior make debut race. Now, this was going to go in one of two ways. One, she was going to lose her mind and begin consuming people at the speed of light. Or two, she was going to teleport to the finish line. I'm glad it was the latter. Now, consequently, it wasn't actually all that important for me to win the junior debut race. I'm pretty sure you're destined to win even if all your stats are 0. Though, then again, I did click view results, meaning I didn't actually see whether or not El Condor won or simply ate the other contestants. Regardless, we were continuing on our path to unlocking the Speed Force. Luckily, El Condor didn't actually have to take any urine tests, and the director just simply allowed us to go on our merry way of our addiction-fueled victory tour. We needed to place top 5 in the Kyoto News High, fitting since one of us is already as high as a fucking kite. Training was going good as normal. With every hit of speed, El Condor just became faster. But that's when she suddenly went through a drug-induced crash and started flipping out on me and the world around her. She went from city to city with her newfound speed, killing people. You would think she was a meth head. Well, now that I think about it, maybe I did lace that speed with methamphetamines. But after I finally was able to get her under control, she unfortunately found herself in a bad mood and developed insomnia. I couldn't imagine why. I was stuck at a slight dilemma here. Do I risk the doctors' lives at the academy to fix her, or do I let her keep going with being an insomniac? I eventually decided to spare the doctors' lives. On day 10, I came across 2 women struggling to exist and performed the simple cognitive ability to carry on a conversation. One of them asked me what's the first step in embodying the other's mind, body, and soul and taking her place in society. So I told her the only answer that made sense: rip her hair out and wear it for yourself. On day 6, I sat there debating whether or not I wanted to see her go through a drug-induced cardiac attack episode, but I ultimately decided to bring her to the hospital, because I forget, in order for drug fiends to stay alive, they do need medical attention from time to time. And fortunately, it fixed her because she didn't eat the doctors. With all of that out of the way, we decided to go dumpster diving again. It made her feel a little better. With 4 days left until the Kyoto, I decided maybe I should use this time to race in some on-the-side job racing. I decided to go for the option that would make her a world-famous, fastest drug-addicted superstar on the planet. With stats this abysmal, I was sure that this was going to be where the career will begin to plummet. And not only that, but blow in a fiery accident where she would crash and burn and start flipping like a Krabby Patty on the track like Lightning McQueen. But surprisingly, she won. After being trapped in suspended animation for being in disbelief, I decided to keep on going with more fervor filled with my heart than ever before. I got a little greedy and started another race. The hopeful stakes, where the other contestants would be hoping El Condor doesn't beat them to death in a drug-induced rage. They beat her instead. We finally made it to the Kyoto race, and this would make or break the run. We've come this far together, and after coming off of the 11th place in our last run, I had already thought we hit rock bottom. Turns out we didn't. I didn't quite understand what was happening or how this worked, but things were starting to look up. With 5 turns to our name, it was time for us to race at the NHK Mile Cup. I definitely had the stamina for such an important race. Training went on as normal before I was visited by the drug fiends of Crackhead's past. They inspired me to take more speed. My stats were looking quite autistic at this point. I couldn't tell if I was doing all of this for nothing and my pain would amount to a grand total of 2 viewers, or if the world would be able to see my toil and luck as I traveled to the URA finals by training only speed. We got 17th place at the Japanese Derby. I wasn't expecting to go very far in this run, but all in all, I think I did pretty okay. I'm not allowed within 100 feet of Tracen Academy, and El Condor is taking therapy for her crippling addiction to speed and cannibalizing her friends. We still call each other late at night, and I lie there and listen to her foaming at the mouth with her incoherent babbling as medical staff ask her where the hell she found another phone.
El Condor, where the hell did you get that?
But I want to thank you all for watching. I really enjoyed doing something this stupid, and hope you all enjoyed the good fun. I love this game, and remember guys, guys, don't abuse yourselves or horse girls, and stay away from all forms of drugs, unless they're specifically prescription drugs. From your doctor, don't just steal from a pharmacy. But anyways, I want you all to take care, and peace.